was? Let's look at the checklist because I can't remember exactly what the hell that one was. Okay, so now we're on the Abomination. 29. Abomination has always been a fun character. Again, I'm not a Hulk collector. What to say about Abomination? He was made by the leader, and as much as people read the, you have to don't look at the movie and think that the origin of Abomination is exactly what happens in the comics. So comics and MCU are totally two different. And in this one, they made it where the government was the one who made him. They gave him the secret serum to try to tie it in. The leader was the one who made it, and I think he did originate from the gamma radiation and Hulk's blood, but it was done by the leader. I believe so. I might be 90% sure. Maybe there's 10% where I'm leaving out who really did it, but I know I don't think the government really had any hands in creating him. If I'm wrong, which I will stand by because I'm not a Hulk fan, but from what I remember reading, I thought it had to do about the leader. All right, so that's what, 20, that's 29. And this one is Bullseye, 30. Bullseye was a fun character. In Daredevil, and just don't remember the movie Daredevil when Bullseye was the assassin, which he is an assassin that was played by Colin Farrell, but it was a very bad adaptation of Bullseye. Bullseye is actually a pretty good character, actually. And if you read the comics, he's not only fought Daredevil, he's fought Spider-Man, he's fought numerous people. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Elektra, I mean, I would say that Elektra would win. I can't say Elektra wouldn't win. But when it comes down to it, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Punisher, a select other few have went against Bullseye. But Bullseye is pretty tough. I think Elektra has crossed paths with Bullseye. Alright, so our next one is going to be Doctor Doom. Dude, enough said. Y'all know what Doctor Doom is. If you're a fan of Doctor... Look at how good that card is. That card is very good, actually. I take it back. It's not that good. Doctor Doom, I don't know why they decided to take his hood off this one. This one looks really stupid. I really don't like the way that looks. But Doctor Doom has always been one of the most dangerous people in Marvel. Not Fantastic Four, not in just fighting Spider-Man, not in the Avengers. I'm talking about in general. In general, this Doctor Doom has always been a staple in villain in Marvel comics. He is definitely one of the best. He's an anti-hero. I wouldn't say he's evil. He's an anti-hero because, yes, what he does is evil, but I can say from reading the comics and knowing enough about him that he does a lot of what he wants for Latveria, which is his own country, and his own people love him in the comics. If they make him out to be something that he's not in the movies and whatnot, I can't help that. But he's one of the top-notch scientists. He's very smart. Dude, I would put him I think he's even more smarter than Tony Stark. And you might be like, whoa, wait a minute, and you're only saying that because of the favoritism that the MCU has towards Iron Man. Of course they made Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man to a T. He was great as Tony Stark. He was great as Iron Man. But let's keep it a buck. In the videos, in the movies, they haven't done Doctor Doom justice yet. I hate to say that to you. Galactus is pretty cool. Always loved Galactus. Sorry this is a longer video, but there's a lot that I want to cover. I'll actually make part 2. So I'll leave off on 32. All right? This is long enough. I'll see if I could break these up so you don't have to look at all of them together. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just break up the videos. But the next one. So Galactus. Let's talk about Galactus. Galactus he wasn't always Galactus. He was a being. He was part of a civilization that got destroyed by like a dying star, and then in that dying star, he was recreated as Galactus. In order now see, he's not a real, like, I don't think he's a bad guy. He's not a good guy, but he's there for self-preservation, meaning like he's an essential being. He needs to destroy planets in order to take the nutrients. And unfortunately, when he does that, it does destroy the planets, but he needs the nutrients in order to survive. But he's a necessity because in death, there's life. Within life, there's death. So he's kind of like a crucial part of that yin and yang kind of persona. As much as we want to hate having a Galactus come to Earth, he's inevitable. I'm not saying like, the whole thing with Thanos and whatnot, but Galactus is actually, that's why all the big beings, they leave him alone. He doesn't do more than what he needs to survive. It's not like he's becoming Thanos and I'm going to become a tyrant and destroy your whole planet and enslave your people. No, he picks people to be his hero. He picks aliens to be his hero, and they go out and search for other planets, and Silver Surfer tried to find planets that were not inhabited with any kind of smart creatures or whatnot. Sometimes they didn't really go over well, but Galactus is one of those beings that is essential in the universe. I don't know if I left it out there. So, unfortunately, he's not good or bad. So, 33. All right, now we're gonna get to some really cool characters that I really like. I love all the characters really that we've already talked about, but Green Goblin, man, Green Goblin is right up there with the Joker. And the reason why I say Green Goblin is because, man, he pushed Spider-Man over the edge. I mean, if there's any character, any villain that really made Spider-Man walk on the edge of killing and not killing, it would be Green Goblin. I mean, he's took over, he kidnapped Gwen Stacy. He did a lot of shit to a lot of the characters. And you know what's crazy about him? Norman Osborn is he's the one that did the whole Civil War. He's the one that was the president, and then he had his own Avengers, and he made Captain America go against, when all the superheroes were picking sides. Norman Osborn, I don't know if this is Harry Osborn, but Norman Osborn as Green Goblin has done crazy things. So he's one of the reasons for the Civil War. I don't know if this is the one, his son, or if that's Norman. I don't know too much about it. So that's that. 34. Oh, yes. Juggernaut, man. Like, if you know anything about my channel, you know Juggernaut, dude. I am a big fan of Juggernaut. Okay, so Juggernaut's one of those characters where everybody thinks that he's really dumb, but he's not. He was an archaeologist. He went to these temples. He went to pyramids. He's definitely up there being smart. He doesn't get tired because of the Sidorak gem. And he doesn't even use the whole. This is what's crazy about the Juggernaut. Juggernaut is by far one of the strongest characters when it comes to villains against the X-Men that they fought. Why? Because he hasn't really tapped into all the energy the Sidorak gem has, or the ruby, or gem, ruby, whatever it's called. But the Sidorak has all these powers, and he still didn't tap into everything he's supposed to. There's a being living inside that, I think if more and more he takes the energy, it'll come out inside of him. I think that's how that works. but he needs to, there's a lot of great things that Juggernaut has done. There's a lot of great storylines. There was a time when he did help with Generation X, and he did, dude, he was banging She-Hulk. I mean, come on, dude. I mean that's not really a great feat because there's a lot of people in Marvel that bang She-Hulk. But anyway, he's definitely one of my favorite characters. So we're gonna look at the next is Kingpin. Kingpin. If you watched their Daredevil show, then you probably already know sort of what Kingpin is. He's actually in the comics. He's actually known to have a lot of muscle. Like when you see him, you think of like a fat guy, right? But he's actually 300 pounds of solid muscle. This was actually established in the comics. It's canon. He does know how to fight. He's super strong. He you would have, you know what comic really does good for him? If you read Daredevil Reborn. When you read Daredevil Reborn, you'll see exactly how strong he is. I always thought he was a Spider-Man character because the first time I did see him, or that I really paid attention to him, was in the Spider-Man cartoon. But he was a Daredevil and Spider-Man character, so I didn't know that he was having ties with Daredevil. So a lot of times, I think he did start off in the Daredevil comics, though. So we established Kingpin. I don't know, what was that? Let's look at this. The Lizard 36. Oh my god, I have everything all. All right. Kurt Connors. If you're a Spider-Man fan, you'll know. It's pretty cool. Like the Lizard was always one of those characters that was really cool. I actually don't like the way they made him look in this one. I like him when he had the clothes on. I like how he did do experiments on himself to regrow his arm, and I'm not too familiar with Spider-Man fans Spider-Man villains and Spider-Man superheroes unless I really like them. I go out of my way. Like, I want to say I was a mediocre comic book collector. Like, I like the characters I like, and I'll research them and I'll get to know them. But outside the characters I like, I was like, I don't really care about those characters. Lizard was fun. He went to toe-to-toe with Spider-Man. I think in the wild, you got the lizards that eat spiders. You got spiders that eat lizards. So it's kind of like a cool concept. The card is actually garbage. All right, so that's 36. All right, now let's look for another one because these are all mixed up. Okay, so now we're looking for. I don't know why these are all mixed up. All right, so we got 37, which is Wonder Woman versus Storm. This is actually really interesting. And I agree with this, that Wonder Woman fought Storm and she won. The reason why I can see this is because Wonder Woman is on par with Superman. She has an invisible jet. She can also fly without it. And she has a lasso that can't be can't be like destroyed. It's the lasso of truth, I think it is. And she's Amazon goddess, I think it is. She was on his own planet. So you have to remember like she has god powers. She has goddess powers, but she's like a deity. Like she's like I want to say like a half god kind of thing. Like she's literally almost a goddess. So you got somebody who has godlike powers, and then you got somebody who's pretty much almost a god. So you can see why I say Wonder Woman wins. I think this was a really cool concept, and I think the fans really did a good job with voting that Wonder Woman would win. Now, Storm, on the other hand, you know I like her, you know I love her. I love her mohawk. I love that she has all these great powers. But the one thing that, the reason why I think Storm would lose this is because Storm is more of a nice, she's more kind in her nature. Like, I think she would, I'm not saying Wonder Woman would trick her and get her to stop fighting, and then Wonder Woman would sneak her and, you know, surprise attack or anything like that. But she's more of like a merciful, she's more of like when you fight her, you know, you have more of a chance to like come to plea, you know, to plead with her, to be like, all right, I kind of give up, and you know, you kind of like do that to her because she's a very sympathetic person. Where Wonder Woman, she's like, no hold bars, I take no crap for no one, I will beat your ass. In this perspective, Wonder Woman would win. Storm, I love Storm though. Like, she's, dude, I just wish you would, bro, if they brought back the Mohawk, and I saw the Marvel Legend toy, I'm definitely getting that of her with the Mohawk. Oh my God. When she had that Mohawk, I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, she was awesome. And that's why I fell in love with Storm. I saw the Mohawk. I saw her like banging Wolverine and shit. And I'm like, damn, man, like, she's raw as hell. All right, so that was, we're going to look at our checklist. Now we're looking for Magneto.